Hey guys, and welcome to another tutorial. Today we're looking at how to paint the fur on one of the sheepdogs from the Shepherd's Guild by Steamforged Games. So I started off with a base coat of Abaddon Black all across the coat of the dog, and then came in with a really thin layer of Administratum Grey with the airbrush. Now all I've done is hit the various areas that I want to be white. Then coming in with Administratum Grey again, what we've done is we've thinned it right down on the palette to a very, very thin consistency and started going back over all those areas, reinforcing the lighter patches on the fur. With the brush strokes here, we want to keep it so it's kind of going with the grain of the fur, so as you get to the edges where the transition between the black and the white would be, you want to try and feather it as much as you can, get those brush strokes in so it actually looks like a little bit of texture. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. And you just go right the way across the model, hitting all those areas that you've airbrushed. Now obviously you don't need to use an airbrush, you can use very thin layers of paint. I just find using the airbrush is slightly quicker. And again, it just gives me those natural kind of reinforcements. So again, just following where the fur line would be, hitting each individual area. Don't rush it, and you're going to need to make numerous passes across each of those areas just to get a solid foundation of colour. But again, use thin paints here and don't rush it. As you do more layers, they'll be more heavily reinforced. Now you want to kind of, as you're doing each individual layer here, move away from the very edge, keep that the dullest part, and make the brighter areas towards the centre of the patch. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to add some titanium white in by Windsor and Newton. Now we're going to add this little by little into our Administratum Grey mix. This basically, we're aiming to brighten up the mixture, obviously. Now you don't want to add too much in, and you want to keep that consistency of the paint still very thin. Now we're just going to do exactly the same. This time as you go to the edge of the patch of white, again, make sure you kind of have those brush strokes showing. Again, just to give it texture. So you kind of want to feather it towards the edge and then brighten it up as you come down towards the centre. So with the tail there, it's the very bottom of the tail I've done as the brightest point, and then on the back leg there, the knee, or where the knee would be. And same again, it's all the same. Thin down mix, reinforcing that grey, bringing it brighter and brighter. And again, going with the fur line, working with the direction of the fur, where you want the fur to show, which way you want the fur to kind of move in. And again, you'll need to make numerous passes. And you kind of just get it to the point where you want it. There's no kind of set number of passes you need to make. Now, what we've done here now is I've just added, or will be adding, extra white into the mix. So you're just building up the brightness of that grey mix. So you're literally just adding a dab of white in. The titanium white can be quite strong, and it's quite a thick paint. So, you know, a little goes a long way. And again, just add a little bit in. You can always add more. So this is what we're kind of left with. Okay, so I was happy with the white at this point. So we've gone into the black now. We're going to highlight the black. Now I've used a mix of Abaddon Black and Stegadon Green. The Abaddon Black will obviously dull the Stegadon Green down. I find green's a really good colour to highlight black with, or certainly the likes of Stegadon Green and Incubi Darkness. I couldn't actually find my ink to buy darkness at this point, otherwise I would have used that, but I went with Stegadon green, which again is just as good. It just gives more of a blue tinge as opposed to a green tinge. So we're doing basically exactly what we did with the white, but we're doing it on the black. You're doing it along the kind of where the patch and the white patch and the black meet, and again you're just feathering down into the black, kind of getting a transition. Now the black mix again is very thin, so again you'll need to make numerous passes just to build up that layer. Now the next thing you'll do is you'll add more, or make that mix brighter. So how we do that is we're going to add some of our grey or pale grey mix into the black-green mix, just to brighten it up. And again, you don't need a lot, and you can always add more. Don't add too much, just do it little by little, otherwise you'll add too much and you have to make the whole mix again. So little by little, just building up that highlight, adding the two mixtures together gradually. Got a little bit out of focus here. There we go. And that's what you're left with. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Stay safe as always, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers!